what we're going to do today is going to be to learn how to factor. So when we learn how to factor, we are starting with an equation that is given to us in standard form. So x squared plus 3x minus 4. And we are going to learn how to turn it in to x plus 4 times x minus 1. So we are going to learn that process. Now, what we've already learned is we've learned how to expand. So we know how to take x plus 4 times x minus 1 and turn it into standard form. But now we're going to learn the opposite. So for part 1 of the notes today, we are going to work with when c is positive. So when the c value in standard form is positive. So we are going to look to find two numbers that are going to add to equal b and that multiply to equal c. So when c is positive, if we have x squared plus bx plus c, we are going to have two factors that are x plus and x plus. If c is positive and b is negative, so you can see the difference here of the two, then we are going to have x minus times x minus. So what we're looking to find then for both of these is we have to find the numbers, right, to fill in our brackets. So let's look at some examples. So when we start, we're going to look at example 1, we're going to look at A. The first thing we do is we're going to look for the factors of C, so the factors of 6. So we have 1 and 6, right, and 2 and 3. So that's our first step. Okay. So the next step is which one of those factors add to equal 5? So that's B. Okay, so I'm looking at either 1 and 6. So does 1 plus 6 equal 5? No. 2 plus 3 equals 5. So those are my factors. So then I know my factors is going to be x plus 2 times x plus 3. Now I can check that. And I would have x squared plus 3x plus 2x plus 6. I combine like terms and I have x squared plus 5x plus 6. And this, right, that is my original equation. Everything matches. So I know that is my correct answer. So my answer that I'm looking for here is that x plus 2 quantity times x plus 3. All right, so we're going to continue to follow those same steps. So example B. So I start, what are the factors of 6? 1 and 6 and 2 and 3. Right? Which factors add to equal 7? 1 and 6. So I have x plus 1 times x plus 6. I can check my work. X squared plus 6x plus 1x plus 6. Combine like terms. Right? And this is the same as my start, so I know that I have correctly found the factors. Next example, we have 12. So we have 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4 are my factors. And I'm looking for the factors that add to equal 8. So 2 and 6. So I have x plus 2 times x plus 6 is the factors of that equation. All right, the next examples, we're going to continue the same thing. Now the difference here is, let's see if we can highlight that. If example 1, I had a plus sign for b, now I have a negative sign for b. So that's the difference. So I start the same way. I'm going to find the factors of c, 1 and 10, and 2 and 10. Same process, they have to add to equal b, so they have to add to 11. So we have 1 and 10. But now it's going to be x minus 1 times x minus 10. So let's check our work. X squared minus 10x minus 1x plus 10. Combine like terms. And this is my original equation, so I know I found my factors correctly. All right, B, we're looking for factors of 56. So 1 and 56, 2 and 28. Let's see, 56 divided by 3. No, 56 divided by 4 is 4 and 14. 56 divided by 6. And 7 and 8. And I'm looking for the factors that add to be 18. So truly, once you get to 4 and 14 and you say, oh, that adds up to be 18, you can stop finding factors once you get the hang of it. So now I have x minus 4 times x minus 14. All right, last example here. We're finding the factors of 50, 1 and 50, 2 and 25, 5 and 10. And 5 and 10 add to be 15. So I have x minus 5 times x minus 10. All right, so those are examples of how we would factor. I'm going to go back to the start here. When c is positive. So when c is positive, we are adding to equal b and multiplying to equal c.